Ronel Blanco gave up 3 runs in the first inning. Hey, John Singleton, he tied the game in the first inning with a home run. Wait, Ronel Blanco gave up the lead again. Hey, Yanier Diaz tied the game again. Wait, the Astros gave up the lead again. Man, baseball, it's stressful, isn't it? We'll talk about it on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Jaren Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day and becoming an everydayer. Somebody who listens to our podcast. You see that little red button down there? Go ahead and subscribe to us and give us a big fat thumbs up, and we appreciate your support. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/lockedonmlb. Use the code all lowercase lockedonmlb and have a first deposit match up to $100. So Brett is taking night off. I'm going to take a night off a little bit later this week, but I wanted to come on here, and I'm not going to do what y'all think I'm going to do. The Astros have still won 11 out of the last 13 games. It's one loss. The Red Sox are a good team, and it was one of those frustrating games. And one thing I want to address is Ronel Blanco. I know a lot of people are giving him a lot of crap right now, but we have the Astros he carried the Houston Astros for most of the season on his back. Now he's reaching that. He's surpassed his innings limit. I think he did it today. And so he is now in uncharted territory. His arm may be, he may be having trouble with his velocity. He may not be in the same place he was to start the season. So now you're going to have what I'm calling the Blanco rules. And you've seen that the past couple games. He does not go past 90 pitches, and he won't go. He basically hasn't gone 4 innings in most of these games. So when he comes into a start, expect for him to go about 4 innings at this point. And hey, it gets better. Justin Verlander is coming back. Yay. While that's a good thing, Justin Verlander is a great pitcher, but in his last start in the minor leagues, he was only extended up to 57 pitches. While I'm not too concerned about Justin Verlander, he is a pro. He's a guy that can probably go out there and still get to 75 pitches. You're still going to have to eat up a lot of the bullpen. And I wouldn't be surprised if Forrest Whitley has been killing it down in AAA. I would not be surprised at all if they did. Ooh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Let me just put the one I had up earlier. So, yeah, I put the wrong one up there. So, the Astros do lose this game. It's definitely a game where a lot of people think that the Astros should have won this game, but it's okay. It's one loss. I'm not too concerned about that. Go out there, get the win tomorrow. The sad thing is Nick Pivetta, he was very susceptible today, but Ronel Blanco was very lucky. He had the bases loaded in second inning. He was able, I guess, I don't know. Would you think that's luck or was that skill? Because he was able to strike out 2 batters with the bases loaded. And so he got out of the jam. You had Sean Dubin get out of a jam in an 8th or 9th inning. I forgot which inning it was, but I think it was the 9th inning with bases loaded. So the Astros are getting themselves in these situations where they have the bases loaded. So with Ronel Blanco, his stuff is not there. It's not where it needs to be. I know the Astros are going to go to a 6-man rotation. His next start, guess what, guys, will probably be the opening start of the Philly series in Philly. So that's when he's lined up to start next, I believe. And so hopefully Ronel Blanco can figure things out. He has not been the same person he was at the beginning of the season. He's no minor league pitcher right now. He's still a adequate pitcher, but the Astros are definitely going to be limiting his pitches for now, and he's not going to go too much more than 80 pitches at this point. So I think they're saving him for October. I think you'll probably see him at some point shift to the bullpen, maybe, because they value him as the future with the Astros, but so they don't want to burn out his arm this year. So Ronel Blanco, it wasn't his best game. Like the other day with Kikuchi, it was bad luck. The Astros had 4 errors, but with this game, it was really all Blanco. 4 walks, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 6 strikeouts. His ERA is now 3.14 on the season. I think coming into the game was 2.98. He only pitched 3 2/3 innings. So he got, what is that? About 11 outs. The bullpen had to get the rest of the outs. So that's about 16 outs, I believe, if I'm doing the math. So you had to extend your bullpen today. You're going to have to extend the bullpen tomorrow, likely, because Justin Verlander's not, he's not fully stretched out. So, like I said, I feel like you're going to see somebody come up from AAA. The only guy I can think of is maybe sending Sean Dubin down and possibly bring up Forrest Whaley. Orts, yes, he gave up the home run, but this dude is throwing 99 miles per hour. Durran just centered a fastball and he hit into Crawford boxes. So it wasn't necessarily a bad pitch. Durran just guessed fastball, got it. But Ort looks like he's going to help the Astros in the future. How did the Orioles let him go? Ferguson looks like he's putting it together. And Brian Keane looks as efficient as a left-handed pitcher you can go. So the bullpen, without throwing out any of the studs right now, I know Ort you can classify him as becoming one of the studs, but you didn't have to use any high leverage guys today. So I hate to say it, that's a good thing. Hopefully the Astros can capitalize on that tomorrow with the game tomorrow. Nick Pivetta, I know that Brett yesterday joked that he was put on IL or skipped the start or something because of giving up all the home runs. He gave up 2 home runs today. Yanier Diaz had a home run to tie the game in the 5th inning. And also John Singleton had a big 2-run homer in the 1st inning to tie the game at 3. So the home runs were there, but Singleton is trying to say, hey, I'm still here. I know you got all these youngins that want to play, but I'm still here. Unfortunately, for the rest of the game, Singleton struck out 3 straight times. So that's what you have with Singleton. Yeah, he's going to strike out sometimes. He's going to get some walks sometimes, but that's the type of player that Singleton is. But that home run earlier in the game, it got the Astros back in the game. Unfortunately, you had a situation, and oh my, Jake Myers, I just saw that he had a hit today, but did you see that catch that he made? I think it was Tyler O'Neill. That was, it wasn't a home run, but you saw Jake go up there and catch it, and he came down, and he just kind of stood there, and everybody thought, okay, did it go? Did it go out? And he was like, I got the ball. And so that was it's not his best catch of the season, but at the time, it really meant a lot for Brian Keane, who then got a ground ball and I think retired the side after that. So, but yeah, so Jake almost tied it up. Yes, there's a lot of good things that Jake Myers did have impact in this game. I know McCormick had an RBI. He had a sacrifice fly today. Whitcomb did something that was pretty awesome. We'll have to talk about that in a second. And then we'll talk about Justin Verlander. He's coming back. We'll talk more about that. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. We appreciate you, and thank you for becoming every day. Hey guys, we all love our cars. It's our true thing that we we actually are in pretty much every day. If you need to go to store, if you need to go to work, if you need to go to Astros game, go to Astros playoffs game. eBay Motors is where you need to go to get the parts you need for your ride and die. Whether it's superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, whatever you're into, speed, power, style, eBay Motors has you covered with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You always can find exactly what you need. Not if you go to a store, you might have some young kid tell you, well, I think you need this. But if you go to eBay Motors, you can get exactly what you need for your car. So guys, keep your ride or die alive with the parts at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit, only available to U.S. customers. Guys, like I said earlier, thank you for making Locked On Astros your first listen. Go and check out Michael Connor with the Locked On Astros postcast. I'm sure he wasn't too excited about this game. I saw some comments, but if you can't get enough Astros content here, go and check out Michael Connor. If you want to hear more baseball content, go and check out Sully over at the Locked On MLB podcast. He does a great job. Whether I don't know if he's talking as much about the Mariners right now, but the Mariners are winning right now. But they've had a rough time at the time of it right now. But as much as we hate this game right now, the Astros are still won 11 of the last 13 games. They're still, even if the Mariners win this game, they will still have a 4-game lead in the AL West. I'm not worried about this one game. I'm worried about the next few series because the Astros have some tough talent coming up. And I know the Astros, I'm going to save it for later, but the Astros did make a acquisition today. They did not trade for anybody, but they did sign somebody or claim somebody off waivers. So we'll talk about that later. And why did they claim him? Who is he? And we'll talk about that in the third segment. But Shay Whitcomb, I know his defense at third base in the other game was not the best, but he's not Alex Bregman out there. But we'll talk about Alex Bregman in a second. But Shay Whitcomb is doing what he can do right now. He's replacing a Gold Glover in Alex Bregman, somebody that has been really hot at the plate recently. And to his credit, Shay Whitcomb is playing pretty good baseball with the bat. He's got a 308 batting average, 900 OPS, and he crushed the ball today. And he did something that few players have actually done. He hit the ball so hard that it got stuck in the fence in the bullpen out there, the visitors bullpen, and it literally got stuck over there in the fence. And so that was pretty cool. Not wedged. It just literally got stuck. The odds of that happening are like 1,000,000 to 1 or something like that. So it was just pretty cool to see. And I looked at the phone. I was like, there's no way that happened. Cause I was coming back from my college class. I'm like, there is no way that happened. So, but that was cool that he did that. You had Altuve trying to create some action early in the game after the Astros got down 3-0. He had 2 stolen bases, including stealing third base, and that they didn't even throw the third base. So it's good to see Altuve trying to generate the scoring. And Alvarez had a little bit of an off day, so to speak. He did have a walk. He did score a run. But Yanier Diaz has homered in 3 straight games. This is awesome. And it's just great to see him hot like this. It's great to see him become the star that I think Astros fans wanted. And to think that James Click made this trade, just Miles Straw for Yanier Diaz. Would you do that trade over and over again? So the Astros have done some pretty sly trades. Josh Fields for Yordan Alvarez. Then you have basically Miles Straw for Yanier Diaz. So the Astros have missed on some trades. We're not going to even mention the Jeff Luhnow trade that will go down in history as one of the worst trades ever. But I know that the Astros have come through with some pretty good trades, like the Jeff Bagwell trade. I know this is going way back, but Jeff Bagwell for Larry Anderson. So the Astros have had some good trades, but I think this one for Yanier Diaz is going to be a great one. And I know that there's another catcher coming up, Walker Yannick. He's coming up, and he's got a great arm. He can hit for power. He can hit for average. I think he's got some time for him to develop, but at some point, we've seen Yanier Diaz kind of position himself to maybe move at some point to play first base. Maybe he could play DH. So that could be option down the road. But it's good to see Diaz come full at the plate and just doing everything that he can do. So let's go ahead and take a look at just overall. Oh, Pena. Somebody was asking earlier about Jeremy Pena. So what happened was he did steal a base today. And what happened was as he was sliding through the base, this is what I think happened. I didn't really hear exactly what happened, but when he slid through the base, his foot got stuck in the leg of whoever was receiving the ball, the second baseman or the shortstop. And so it got tangled up a little bit. I think that's what hurt him a little bit, but he was shaken up a little bit, but he stayed in, played the rest of the game, and he looked okay. So I'm not worried about Jeremy Pena missing any time. So you can't afford to miss Jeremy Pena. I know you have Bryce Matthews down there, but I believe he's on IL as well. But there's other options down there. But Jeremy Pena, the way he's been playing better baseball, and guys, he's batting fourth. That just shows where this lineup is right now without Kyle Tucker, without Alex Bregman. It's frustrating, and you're going to have a lot of games like this where you just can't score enough runs. And Blanco, I mean, this game's on him, but at the same time, I'm not mad at him because he carried the Astros for most of the season, and he was the guy. So Supreme Panda asked, "Do I know when Kyle Tucker will return?" No, that's not what. But no, I don't know when Kyle Tucker is going to return. We know that he is doing some light drills. He's taking some ground balls in outfield. We don't know exactly when his timetable is, but at some point we should see Kyle Tucker back. He said he wouldn't be making effort to come back if he doesn't believe he's going to be able to come back. So Todd DeShow says September 14th. Okay. So if that's what Todd DeShow says, we'll see September 14th. I hope it's not that long, but I would say it's got to be, you got to give him about a week or so in the minor leagues. And so I think around September 1st or second week in September. So that might be a good call. So it's going to take some time for this lineup to get where it needs to be. And Alex Bregman needs to return at some point. I know that Joe Espada said that Alex Bregman was technically available in today's game, possibly as a pinch hitter. We didn't see it materialize, but it could have happened if the situation was critical enough. Like, let's say a runner got on in a ninth inning and you had a runner in scoring position. You could have pinch hit for somebody or something. Caratini has been awesome with in extra innings, but ninth innings, not extra innings. So, but there's a chance that we may see Alex Bregman as a DH, and there's a chance we don't see him at all tomorrow. So I think it's up to Alex Bregman. And Joe Espada says, well, once we see him hit, we can kind of take it from there. And so once he gets in the batting cage, I think that will be kind of when the Astros can say, oh, look, he's hitting. He's good to go. So it's all up to Alex Bregman. I know he said, put me in, coach, and everything, but I think it's up to the team doctors. It's up to the manager. Everybody's got to get together and make that final decision. So we'll see what that is. But Justin Verlander, he's coming back. What does that mean for the team? What does it mean for him to come back? We'll discuss this and more when we come back. Hey guys, one of my favorite things to do, and I sometimes I need to be like, okay, Eric, maybe not do it today, but Prize Picks is awesome. It's the daily fantasy sports game out there. You can pick like Ronel Blanco. Will he go 15 pitching outs? If you went the over, you probably would have lost. But if you went the under, like he did today, you probably would have won, but you have to pair that up with another player. And so it's up to that other player to do. And so it's just awesome. It's fun. You're not competing against a bunch of other people. You're competing against yourself. So you can do the research, make your picks, and then win money. And it's just awesome to do that. So download the Prize Picks app and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. The code is LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Run your game. Have fun while doing it. All right, so I know everybody's been waiting for this. Justin Verlander is set to return to Houston Astros. So last time he pitched in the minor leagues, like I said earlier, he threw 57 pitches. So how much would he be able to pitch tomorrow? I think it depends on what's going on in the game. So I know that so he is 3-2 with 3.95 ERA and 10 starts. He threw 57 pitches in 4 innings with the Corpus Christi Hooks. So we'll see what happens. I know that they were going to make sure everything was fine after his last start. Everything was fine. So they said all thumbs up. You can go and start against the Red Sox. So not that this is a must win. The Astros kind of have that cushion, but you've been dominating the Red Sox. Just go and take care of business and go ahead and go out there. Verlander has done well against the Red Sox in the past. So just go out there, pitch his brand of baseball, go 5 innings. I think at this point, that's all you can expect from Justin Verlander. Then turn it over to the bullpen. So we'll have to see what happens. I would expect him to maybe give up 1, maybe even 2 home runs, just because he's probably not as crisp as he was when he left. So I would expect him to give up a home run or 2, but I think that you'll see strikeouts. But give Verlander some time to get into his groove. But what you won't see is his option vest for next season. So the Astros will probably have to come up to Justin Verlander and say, hey, we want you back for next season. We wanted this option to vest, but it's not going to vest. So what would it take for you to come back and pitch for the Houston Astros? He obviously didn't like pitching for the Mets or whatever reason, but so the Astros will have to make that decision. Do we want Justin Verlander to be part of this? Okay, so apparently the Mariners are still winning, but it's 3-2 at this point. So thank you for the updates. So we'll see what's going on there. So hopefully who are they playing? The Dodgers are able to come back and beat the Mariners, but it still sucks rooting for the Dodgers, honestly. But we know that the Astros will go to a 6-man rotation. Ronel Blanco will be part of that 6-man rotation. The Astros don't really have any better options down in AAA. You could have some type of phantom injury or put him down for a little bit, but I think that, or you could put him in the rotation for a little bit and put somebody in the put him in the bullpen for a little bit, put somebody else in rotation. But I think the Astros are just gonna do what they've been doing, the Blanco rules, and just go with 6-man rotation. See if they can save some innings for October, because I think that's what everything is kind of pointing to at the moment. So I'm Alex Bregman. Like I said, Joe Espada said he was closer to returning. The Astros did lose 6-5. They were 68-57 on the season. Jaren Durran basically single-handedly beat the Astros in this game. Sometimes you have a player on the other team that's just is playing great baseball at the time, and that's what you had in this game. So unfortunately, you had that. So you know what? The Astros are struggling to find that guy for the outfield with Kyle Tucker out. So they went out and got a former top prospect. They already did that with John Singleton. They already did that kind of with Trey Cabbage. Now they're trying again with some guy named Ben Gamel. Do you remember him? Yes, he was a former top prospect with the Mariners, and he is now 32 years old. He might be confused with Trey Cabbage because they both have this long beard, but he has a slash line of 252, 3 333 and 382 in 9 major league seasons. His best season was his rookie season, or I believe his first full season with the Mariners. He had 11 home runs. But that's pretty much his highlight of his career. He is a left-hand hitter. He is somebody that's played a lot of right field. This is something that you can't say about Shay Whitcomb or Zach DeZenzo. So I know we have Chaz McCormick in right field because you don't have anybody else that really can play the outfield right now. Trey Cabbage can, but he's not doing much. You don't really have too many options out there. So Ben Gamel is going to probably go down to the minor leagues for a little bit, and then they'll see if there's any potential for him helping the Astros. JP France was put on the 60-day IL to open up a spot on the 40-man roster. So they didn't have to DFA anybody. Nobody was harmed in the signing of this player. This is just a additional piece because they did not get a big bat at the trade deadline. They just got Ferguson and they got Kikuchi as well. Definitely, yes, I did say that. So, but basically, the Astros have been the best team since the Mexico series. Don't freak out about this one game. I'm not worried about it. You should not be worried about it. They've been playing great baseball. I'm not even worried about too much about how they're going to play against the Orioles and the Phillies. If they play their type of baseball, they're going to be good. My only concern, the pitching has been great. The bullpen has been great. Can they get the consistent offense? And this team goes around Alvarez. This team goes around Yanier Diaz recently, and it goes around Altuve. But you've got to have some other contribution. I know we have Pena with some games sometimes, but we got to have some more contribution. And Shay Whitcomb, I don't know if he's going to be that guy, the Evan Carter that comes out of nowhere. Zach DeZenzo, we thought that he possibly could. One of these guys possibly could be that type of impact bat. But at this point, nobody, they're not really opening our eyes. But I think Shay Whitcomb and Zach DeZenzo, their futures are bright. But I think the Astros probably should have gone out and got a bat. But at the same time, they might have had to trade one of these two guys. So I guess it's pick your poison. So I think that what we're going to see is what you see is what you got. There's not too many better options down in AAA in the starting rotation. You got AJ Blueball who could come up. But the Astros are going to have to go to war with what they got. So they've got a great team. And so I think that it is something that is going to happen. But I just wanted to tell you not to worry about this. Something else that came out today, the Harris County Houston Sports Authority did come out and say that they are going to go ahead and do some renovations for Minute Maid Park and also the Toyota Center. I think I saw specifically that they're going to change the roof of the Toyota Center. I didn't see exactly what they're going to do for Minute Maid Park. I thought that they did a lot of renovations anyway. The Astros did, but hopefully they'll fix the AC. I know a lot of people complain about the AC. Maybe fix some of the leaks when it rains. It seems to rain, flood a little bit in certain areas, but I know that what they're trying to do is they're trying to upgrade the ballpark to the same quality of other ballparks across the nation. So we don't know how much money is going into this. We don't know what's going to be upgraded at this time, but there will be some renovations at some point, thanks to the Houston Sports Authority. So the Astros, the Rockets, and the Texans are about to be a hot topic across the nation. Well, the Astros have been, but the Texans are good. I think the Rockets at some point are going to take off as well. So I think that the Houston Sports Authority recognized that, and they're going to go ahead and do that. So, so other than that, the Astros just got to take care of business tomorrow. There's not much else to say about today's game. Tomorrow's game is going to be a definitely interesting one. You got Justin Verlander on the mound. It's going to be early start, 1:10 p.m. You have, is it Josh Criswell? No, Cooper Criswell on the mound for the Red Sox. He's 5-4 with a 4.56 ERA. Not too many, none of the Astros have actually faced him, but a lot of the Red Sox have faced Justin Verlander. But not too much success against him. So I think that this would be an interesting matchup. I'm surprised that Devers does have a home run, but he's batting 125 against him. So other than that, this is going to be an interesting game. Let's see how deep Verlander could go. All you can do is go out there and win. Don't worry, as long as you win, it doesn't matter what the Mariners do. We hope they lose, but at the same time, it doesn't matter if you continue to win. You can't win them all, but you can try to win as many as you can. And so don't stress about this game. Tomorrow's another game. And thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Go and subscribe to us. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, and go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. And we will see you tomorrow. And go Astros.